I got sucked into Jumanji. I had fun with Hobbs and Shaw. I was the Scorpion King and the Tooth Fairy, and in the all-time classic Walking Tall. Well, you all love Black Adam, never forget your Jungle Cruise. I was in Hercules and the Fast series. I'm pretty sure I was in G.I. Joe too.
Me and my best friend Ryan Reynolds helped Moana with their boat. I was the Hasselhoff in Baywatch, but I didn't really get the joke. Turns out I'm a jabroni and my career's in a free fall. Nothing I do is working. I wonder where it all went wrong. The Rock, the Rock, the Rock is in a hard place. The Rock, a demolition man. The Rock, the Rock, the Rock is in a hard place. The Rock, the Rock, Dwayne Johnson has a sad face. So we made this change on podcast. Talking Dwayne Johnson for the summer weeks. We're dropping the album and raising the eyebrows. Temporary load-bearing beams.
Hello and welcome to Load Bearing Beams. This is the Summer of Rock. The Summer of Rock. Wow. We're so happy to be here. So happy to be joined by you.
And you.
And you and you and you and the millions
y'all.
And millions of the Load Bearing Beam fans out there.
Smell what the Matt is cooking.
I'm Matt.
I'm bad at that. Lem Lacey.
And we're married. Got married 12 years ago. Things have been rough on us lately. Every day I'm like, is this the end of our podcast and marriage?
Every summer we say the same thoughts out loud to each other. Is this it? Is this it?
Is this it?
Is this our lives?
As the Strokes once said, is this it? And we don't know. We're going to make it. I think
might
we're
be
going to make
worse.
it after
It's
all.
probably going to get worse.
Yeah.
This is probably the good stuff. We're pissing it away.
Yeah, the summer sucks shit for us. And we're self-employed. We got a lot of shit going on. And we also have a podcast. And we make it more fun by doing a mini series. So we're covering the films of Dwayne Johnson in chronological order to try to chart the rise and the fall. And I think this movie we're covering this week, The Rundown, it's probably the apex right there.
That
Second
fucking
movie.
sucks, man. Because all this so far, I'm just seeing the rise, baby.
And I was not sure what you would think of this movie.
I
Same
loved
with
it.
Scorpion King, because we watched them separately.
When our kid got really into Indiana Jones, then we were in out of Indiana Jones movies, and then you suggested we go to The Mummy. Sure, that was perfectly fine. This is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This and Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. All right.
Buddy comedy shitting with trees.
Well, this movie, it has adventure movie elements to it, less than I remembered. In some ways, it is kind of just a throwback 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, but with some injection of some Indiana Jones, some Romancing the Stone, and some like buddy comedy. But if we're following the Rock is doing Arnold Schwarzenegger's career, but in the 2000s, like Arnold Schwarzenegger does Conan the Barbarian in the 80s, so The Rock does the Scorpion King. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger does Commando, and this movie is like Commando in a lot of ways.
Is he a mercenary?
Yeah.
Or a getter?
He's a getter. No, he's just like the world's biggest badass, and his daughter gets kidnapped.
Okay, so
and
it's
he
Taken.
has to. Okay, but he has to go like to a fortress island where he's outnumbered 1,000 to 1, and he does it. But the key thing is that movie's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's first like kind of lighthearted movie. Even though it's very violent and stuff, he has lots of quips and stuff in it. And that's the vibe of this movie. So he's really going for, this is the movie where he literally has Arnold Schwarzenegger in the film handing the torch to him.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Baby. Yeah, I didn't see Commando, so.
But you liked this movie. I was very happy.
I really liked it.
We watched it separately, and
I gave it 4 stars.
I know. I saw that on
That's
Letterboxd,
crazy.
and I love action movies. And Lacey will sometimes say stupid stuff like, "I don't care about action. I just like story."
That's not true. I like action when it's good, when I can follow it. This movie had awesome fucking action. That is a really. It combined comedy and action and heart in a perfect little sandwich.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. And so when I read your Letterboxd review, my heart soared.
Did it?
Because I had such a fun time with this movie, which I had not seen since I saw it in the movie theater in 2003, when I remember thinking like, that's pretty good.
And Paul Walker Anderson, help me.
Seann William Scott.
Never gonna get it. I don't think I've ever liked him more. I think they give him so much to do. I think his personality is just enough goofy, sincere, and smart. He's smart. He gets to be smart in this.
He gets to be
works.
smart. He's had a long
works.
He has had a long career. He's mainly in television. He does a lot of network television.
Good for him.
He was in the Lethal Weapon network television
Was
show.
he a doctor? I'm just kidding.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
All right. Well, they made a Lethal Weapon television show on Fox that he was on. Now he's on the Tim Allen show, Shifting Gears. So he's making a lot of money. But here I feel like you see the paths not taken by both The Rock and Seann William Scott.
Yes. Seann William Scott has leading man potential as proven in this movie.
Because he's funny, but he can be serious and hot.
He can be hot. I never find him hot. I thought he was fucking suave as shit in his fumbling way. He switches it up seamlessly in this movie.
And the occasional times in this movie where, he's fighting with The Rock, like, how is he going to get the upper hand on The Rock? He does it a couple of times and you can actually buy it.
Yep.
So this movie rules. And it just sucks that this movie was both made at a time where movies like this aren't appreciated anymore because the industry is changing drastically.
What else came out around this? Was this a summer movie? Feels like a summer movie.
No, I think it was a fall movie. I remember seeing it.
Oh, that's rough, man. That's when everyone's putting out their Oscar bait.
I remember seeing it. I think it was the first. Ooh, okay. I think this was the first movie I drove myself to.
Oh, fun.
Because I got a driver's license.
Well,
I invited a male friend, and he sat with a seat between us.
What?
And I remember being like a little like, oh, okay.
No, that is wild.
Yeah, because I'd bet, I've been to lots of movies with male friends. Never was like, dude, I don't want people to think we're gay.
I would instantly go, I smell. That's what I would think. Or like maybe he just really doesn't like talking during a movie and that's the only way to send the signal. But
Which I get it too. But no, I think it was just like this is what guys do. We don't sit close to each other.
Oh, he has a toxic male parent. I can tell you that.
So that was my experience. And I remember thinking the movie was, you don't know him. Don't worry about it. I actually don't even remember his name. He lived in my neighborhood. I gave him a ride home from
bullshit
school
friend.
every day.
Say it. Sorry, Caleb.
It was not.
No, I said neighborhood bullshit friend, and
okay.
Acknowledging not all.
This was a terrible thing where because I could drive and he lived in my neighborhood, he's like, hey, could you give me a ride home?
So
I was
red
stuck
flag.
giving him a ride home every day and had very little to say to him every day.
Anyone that would ask a favor, let alone a daily favor, red fucking flag. Don't ask favors.
And I remember the first day of the next year, I just kind of like ducked behind bushes whenever I would see him. So he never had the chance to ask me.
With your car. You're just like,
yeah. Anyway, I remember thinking this was a pretty fun movie. And whenever I would think back on The Rock's early career, I would think, oh, The Rundown was fun, but not remembering much about it. Although watching it now, I remember, oh, that's where the Christopher Walken, just let him go nuts.
And I thought you'd be right.
Well, this is the time I think it works.
But I don't find him nuts at all. That's what, I think Christopher Walken perfectly fits in this fucking world. He's not even weird. And they pair him with the fucking evil guy from The White Lotus. I love it. I don't think he's even doing his biggest, vocal tics. He's just talking.
He's not, but when he gives the Tooth Fairy speech, which is the part of the movie I remember the most.
It's so crazy.
You could tell that is this is going to be our moment from this movie. This is our Christopher Walken moment. And it's great.
It's great, but that's not the
I feel like my tooth has been taken.
Oh, you just sound like you're horny over there.
Who says I'm not?
Okay. This is what you want when you want bad guy. He's defeatable, but not easy. And he will make a deal with the devil. He's wheeling and dealing the whole time to the very end. You can't trust him.
And he is a bad guy in a
very real way.
He's an actual real person, which is I came into this planned.
Yeah.
I'm the evil capitalist. He has his speech where he's like, yeah, people in the global north basically need to buy Rolexes and diamond rings. This is how it happens. How do you think it happens? I'm the one who's willing to look at what that actually looks like.
True.
And if you're willing to do that, you can make money.
You make money, but you still live in a freaking hot office with a bunch of guys watching yourself torture people. What life are you living, sir? But yeah.
And in the end,
I made you this town.
Yeah, in the end, he thinks that actually might persuade them. Is
Right.
I brought you the modern world, and you ingrates, you Oompa Loompas.
He's mean, that bad guy.
Bad guy. So yeah, this movie's a delight. It should have gotten. We did a bonus video which you can watch on our TikTok load.bearing.beams, our Instagram load.bearing.beams, our Twitter load.bearing.pod.
That one's juicy.
And we'll also put it on YouTube, where this is a movie that I so rarely think that should have gotten a sequel. I rarely think it. I think so many movies got sequels that shouldn't have gotten sequels.
Right.
But this is a movie.
Let it die. Leave it alone. But this one.
This is a movie that had potential for a sequel because you have two characters who are very flexible but have strong dynamics, strong chemistry with each other, and they could easily just go deal with other situations, or things left unresolved in this movie could come back and they would have to deal with them.
I truly want to see him open the restaurant. I just want to see him try to be normal. I think he deserves his John Wick arc where he just gets to do the regular life. And I think he could succeed at it. He seems like a principled man. They'll pull him back in.
They'll pull him back in, and
But
also he'll
he'll find
find
a
out
way.
this is much harder than I thought it would be. Restaurant business is crazy hard. Got a bounty hunt again.
No, I don't think so. I think he'd be great at it.
I love bounty hunter movies also. And I like how low stakes this is. We'll get
It's just some rich kid.
Yeah.
But that's what's interesting is that they all of a sudden drop you into a world where it's all stakes. It's such a good idea to set it in something so real.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels comic book evil because this is comic book evil. It's just real.
It's just real. And Seann William Scott is this rich kid from America, like being basically a tourist here,
Yes.
but thinking like, I can survive down here and doing an okay job of it. Like his dad probably is right to be like, well, if I were the dad, I too would be like, no, we need to get my son the fuck out of there. He's going to get killed.
That's not why he wanted to get him out of
I
there.
know he's not. I know, but it's a reasonable thing to think.
Yeah, it's a believable abduction reason, even though it just turns out, no, you're just training one capitalist evil piece of shit for another one.
So,
Which you can assume that's probably why he is thriving in this environment. He's his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up in this really hard world. He gets hit and doesn't flinch, and you don't expect that from a rich kid because there's a couple times where he's kind of a weenie, but it's The Rock fucking hitting you. But then his dad slaps the shit out of him at the end. He doesn't you can just tell it's happened so many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have here this movie. We've now done 2 movies to begin The Rock's career that I think were pretty strong. And we are now going to see the flailing that happens over the next half decade.
Mm-hmm.
Although Seann William Scott and The Rock will be in another movie together
Which
in 2
one?
years, Southland Tales, or 3 years. Southland Tales, directed by Richard Kelly of Donnie Darko, the movie that basically put him in permanent movie jail because it was so weird and strange. I've never seen it. I will be watching
Such
it.
a cult following, though.
But I think Southland Tales is like so weird that almost nobody claimed it. It's like so plotless, so formless,
It's
so
just a dream.
strange. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Okay.
And I know it's about the Iraq War somehow. I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. But The Rock tries things like he has his Walking Tall remake, and then he gets kind of stuck in family movie jail for a while. Like Escape from Witch Mountain and the Game Plan and Tooth Fairy, which we're going to cover next week. And he pulls out of that by joining the Fast and Furious franchise. But right here, we're in the good stuff. We're in the good stuff with the rundown. All right, so there is a frustratingly little amount on this movie, on the production of this movie available. But I thought, let's situate ourselves with The Rock's wrestling career because he's still doing it, but balancing uncomfortably between the two worlds.
I like this route of going through the history. Show me his parallel universes, because that was my assumption, is that you're never really out of Vince McMahon's wrestling. Maybe other people's.
You kind of never are.
You kind of always owe whatever you have to him. And he seems like the kind of person that's going to manipulate you to give him something, even if that thing is dangerous and bad for your body.
Yeah. The longest he ever got out was 2004 to 2011. He wasn't there at all.
He is John Wick.
He is. Yes.
He just wants a restaurant. Okay, I'm sorry. Go.
After that, he would return a lot. I think he only had 1 or 2 actual matches.
Right.
But he would like do surprise appearances, hit his move on one person, cut a promo, and leave.
As a heel still. He stayed heel, right?
No, usually as a face. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it involving his cousin Roman Reigns, who the company was struggling in an early Rocky Maivia way to get Roman Reigns over with the crowd. So they're like, well, we'll bring in his cousin who the audience loves.
Yeah.
And
Remember how wrong you were about me?
But The Rock would come in and be like, you all love my cousin. And the crowd would start booing The Rock too.
We should come in and be like, fuck this little cousin and see if it's reverse psychology.
And Lacey, as a non-wrestling person, can probably even here guess, how did they finally end up getting Roman Reigns, the new guy, over with the crowd?
He turned heel.
Yes, they did the exact same thing with The Rock. And suddenly everyone loved him and he's a great villain. So he took time off from wrestling to film The Scorpion King and then returned to WWF for the duration of 2001 and most of 2002. During this time, he had one of his most famous feuds with Hulk Hogan.
Who was doing very interesting things to his facial hair at the time.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
He had returned to WWF for the first time in almost a decade, but in their feud, Hogan was the bad guy and Rock was the good guy. But at their WrestleMania match, and you can watch it, it's very fascinating to watch, the crowd is totally on Hogan's side, and it is clearly disorienting the two wrestlers who kind of don't know how to play this.
Oh.
And I was thinking maybe as like a Patreon
made
bonus. That is a way to sort of neutralize it.
And then bring McMahon in, and then you got a tri-tongue situation. You really can't get anything in there, but
it was a different time.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay.
It was a different time.
As a Patreon, we should watch this match and then talk about it.
I want to do a commentary on it.
Oh, I like that.
But the only thing is, like, with wrestling, the narrative, the fun narrative of like, these guys didn't know, and so they had to improv in the ring how to suddenly change everything. And then the hardcore fans will be like, no, they knew it. It was all scripted. They knew the crowd was going to be on Hogan's side. So they
get credit for your thinking on your feet.
Because wrestling is like, because it's all a con.
Yeah.
The bigger a fan you are, the more cynical you become, and the more you say everything is a con, everything is a work, everything is a grift. If you think anything is real, you're the sucker.
The fucking fans are so cucked. They're just like, no, we didn't have an impact. No, we didn't. No, you knew we were ahead. You were 5 stops ahead. We suck. We suck. We suck. That's what they really want to be doing.
Yeah. So this is one of his most famous matches. Afterward, Hogan turned face, became a good guy, and he and Rock teamed up. But this was kind of the beginning of the decline of crowd support for The Rock, because the crowd could sense he was on his way out of wrestling.
Well,
and that's always
enjoy what you have.
Well, it's the chip on the shoulder of the wrestling fan. This is an enormously popular thing. It makes so much money, and we are treated with so much disrespect by the mainstream, lamestream media.
True. He should at least be out there saying sweet things about the fans if he's going to leave. Not that he's not, but is he?
Right. And but
it's like a person who becomes famous in a genre movie by just happenstance, and then they, shoot off into fandom, never to make a genre movie again, or Famous Land. And, it's just like, come on, man, pay your dues.
Or an indie rock band that signs to a major label and is like, I know you're going to forget where you came from. So they can see it happening, and it's never like he can't take to the mic and say like, I love you all so much and I love wrestling, because they could see that's not going to matter to you one day.
Yeah. I was like, what does that look like? How does an indie rock band make sure to stay true to their roots? What do they do? Like, make sure their ticket sales are low so their like fan base from before could afford to go to where they are? Make sure they play small places so that their fans can get there? Or is it that they put their hand out and help up another indie artist? What does it look like to you? And just quickly, are any of those it?
Those are all good things, but I think there's kind of nothing you can do. If you sign to a major label, then that's it.
Okay, so then what's the fucking point? Right, I got you. You just can't have it all. That's the bottom line. You're leaving one thing. Because I was going to say, well, did he maybe help John Cena break into the movies? But I'm like, wait, no, they wouldn't like that. Then he's just taking another thing that they like. Never mind.
And yeah, that's an interesting point you raise. Like, wouldn't this help mainstream acceptance of wrestling? No,
right.
It solidifies that wall between the two.
But I think The Rock was smart in his first couple of movies. The ones I've seen so far, he's using wrestling moves. Even in this like dynamite, I can't believe that word, fighting scene between him and the Brazilian like tree swinging jiu-jitsu shit, whatever that is. It's amazing. He's like believable. I don't know how much of that is a stunt double. It looks amazing, but there's still wrestling in it. And there's you can't take the wrestling out of The Rock. You see The Rock, you think wrestling. And then if he does a good job acting, you're like, oh, look at you doing both things. But I don't know. I don't buy that. I think these breakthrough stars open little peepholes into maybe it's not so bad in it. Maybe I'll go watch some wrestling.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm right.
And we all know that when you say that, it's because
I need a shirt that says it. Maybe
it's because you definitely are. But I mean, what do you think that because people have seen Guardians of the Galaxy, more people have watched wrestling because Batista?
I'm more interested.
All right. Yeah.
Because I don't feel completely left out. It's just like comic books for me. Wrestling seems like such a long story. It's like a freaking soap operas. Where do I jump into Days of Our Lives? It's like 5 generations in at this point. I'm not part of that club. I didn't jump in when I was supposed to.
It is difficult.
And so if I've got an entry point, The Rock, and I've got maybe some documentaries I can watch, kind of get a little close, a little sped up. It's just,
and they have lots of those.
Yeah,
they have lots of those. It's still true, but I know at the time there will be things like the WWF show on the USA Network gets this rating. It has like twice as many viewers as La Femme Nikita, but you can see what La Femme Nikita charges for an ad, and it's like 90% of what the WWF charges. So it's like the in all the ways that count, it may get good ratings, but the ad buyers won't pay for commercials on wrestling because it's seen as lower class. So there's also that weird like class element to wrestling.
So there's just no way to really pay wrestlers what they should be getting paid, is what they would like you to think. No, the t-shirt sales, baby.
Well, I'm just sort of talking about perception of it. Even as this money-making endeavor, they're like, but it doesn't count the way it makes money.
I think that's rude.
It is rude.
I think we're getting the good word out.
Yeah,
I think we're
building a lot of.
I will never watch it because I don't like it, but I do respect it, and I can't say I respected it before, and just understanding it and learning about it makes you respect it.
So later in 2002, The Rock was going to be leaving for an extended hiatus, and he was in charge. He was part of a program of building up a new wrestler, Brock Lesnar. WWF at this point had changed its name to WWE, and at SummerSlam 2002, which is the company's second biggest show of the year, The Rock was going to be losing his championship to Brock Lesnar. And
this blonde here that you got in this picture, he looks so nondescript. I could fall asleep.
His thing is he's giant and mean.
Oh,
and
how tall we talking?
He's big. I don't know.
Right, okay.
And he was in their feud. He was the bad guy and Rock was the good guy, but the crowd was totally on Lesnar's side. And so after Lesnar wins, the program goes off the air. So to the live crowd now, Rock, who's going to be leaving for an indefinite amount of time, gets on the mic to like talk to the fans, and he tries to do all his things. He would always say, when he arrived in a town, he would go, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Minneapolis," or whatever. And they'd go fucking nuts. And so he goes, "Finally, The Rock has come back." And they're just booing him. So he's just like, "It doesn't matter where The Rock has come back to." And then finally he's like, they won't let him finish. So he's just like, "All right, that's that. Fuck y'all."
That's what he says?
He doesn't say fuck y'all. I think he says something like "sing along time with The Rock is over," and he leaves.
Yikes.
And that's he's now gone for a pretty good stretch where he goes to film the movie Hell Dorado, later retitled The Rundown.
Oh, I was like, but that didn't happen, man. All right.
So again, not much information about this movie available out there, so we'll just talk about the people who made it. Peter Berg is the director. Peter Berg is also an actor. He is in this movie as the guy who gives The Rock his shows The Rock into the club at the beginning of the movie. And he's that's where the football players are.
Gotcha.
You'll see this guy pop up in movies from time to time. He had directed a movie called Very Bad News with Christian Slater.
That was Very Bad Things.
Very Bad Things, sorry. In the late 90s.
Yeah, has a cult following.
Oh, yes?
It does. It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's blistering. It's off the wall. Can't you read? That's on
I thought those were things that were just coming out of your head. I was like, wow, Lacey. This was his second movie. He would go on to direct Friday Night Lights and turn that into a TV show. He directed Hancock, Battleship, and mostly he makes kind of reactionary right-wing movies with Mark Wahlberg now.
Okay.
Lone Survivor, Patriots Day, etc. But he did direct the first 2 episodes of The Leftovers, so he's very important to us. I think he's a decent director. Even his right-wing movies with Mark Wahlberg, I think, are pretty fun. He directed the Deepwater Horizon movie, which is actually really good. And he said at the time to the Lehigh Valley Morning Call, quote, "Everyone knows that The Rock has the potential to be the next big action hero. But what surprised me about him is that he doesn't take himself seriously. This movie could have been a dark, vicious action thriller, but the fact that it's playful and funny is a tribute to The Rock. He's charming, charismatic, and very smart man," said Peter Berg about The Rock. Yeah. And Seann William Scott said of The Rock, I think The Rock saw The Rundown as a huge opportunity to take hold of the action genre, but he's not a traditional action guy. He has a self-deprecating sense of humor. It's not like he came in and played this hard ass. He's playing a flawed hero, someone you can actually identify with." End quote. Arnold Schwarzenegger was having lunch with The Rock during production of this movie.
How big you think that meal is between the two of them?
Enormous.
Just whole
Huge.
Chickens, both of them.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole slaughterhouse had to be devoted to
Head
it.
of lettuce.
And The Rock just spur of the moment said, "Hey, do you want to make a cameo in the movie? What's next up in the movie? Oh, it's the club scene, so you just pass me in the hall and you'll tell me, have fun. You're the new me."
I do want to give praise to having a very realistic club scene. Club scenes are usually very insane. But they're not realistic in movies. They're like angel wings and everyone's like glittered and flying, and this is just a club.
It did seem like just a club, and it's like a club where professional football players hang out, and I love that the mission is just, Are those real professional football players? I didn't look into that. I mean, they're not playing themselves.
Sure.
And I think that even when they cut around, it's like they're playing for the
graphics.
The Jacksonville Gators or whatever fake team
okay.
it is. But the movie, which was supposed to film in Brazil, but Peter Berg got robbed in Brazil, so they decided to film in Hawaii instead. Produced on a budget of $85 million. Very expensive for a movie like this.
There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. And they paid the actors
a whole little
lot.
town.
The Rock got $12.5 million. This movie only grossed $80 million worldwide. And if you watch the movie, it seems like they're kind of teasing like we could do this forever, more rundowns. Mm-hmm. But as we said in another bonus video, it is just a terrible, terrible title, The Rundown.
It's bad.
And
as I said, it should have been called Brazil Nuts.
That I think that's actually better. Is Lethal Weapon a good title? I guess
it sticks with you.
Yeah. It's like, it's not like it describes anything, but it just sounds good.
Rush Hour also has a Lethal Weapon feel, but it took me a while to commit Rush Hour to work because it's also a little too generic. Die Hard is amazing because no one says you die hard. It's just a battery. Mm-hmm. That person died hard. It's so stupid, but the two words together sound perfect.
So I don't know what else they could have done, but just I think it's one of the worst movie titles ever. It's so
I didn't know what it meant, and there was a couple times during the movie where I'm like, when are we going to see a rundown happen?
But what is a rundown?
That's what I mean. I didn't know I was watching it. I didn't not till the end where he's like, he's the hardest person I've ever had to run down. Oh, I wish you'd said that earlier.
Did they do a search through the script of something they could? Is there anything we say in this movie that could be a title?
It's like we're not gophers. We don't live in this world. We don't know what you guys call things. And in fact, call it the gopher. That's fucking interesting. That's what he is. He's a getter, right? And like gophers are kind of thought of as like little guys just into like errands. And he's a big guy. That's funny. It's funny and it's counter to what he is. I mean, it's what he is and it's what he's not.
Or like, I think that's the way you think about it. What does he do? Can we come up with a badass, catchy thing to describe what he does?
Yeah.
The getter, the collector.
I almost said the good guy, but then it kind of describes too much his arc or like his character, and you don't want to know that going in just yet. So did something about him be feeling conflicted or the hitman, how did that work? It's so generic, but it works.
The retriever.
Ew. Well, because golden retriever is now like kind of an insult. An insult and a compliment is the same way.
As like a sycophant to like somebody.
Like a boyfriend having golden retriever energy is both something lots of people might like, but they're also kind of like the ultimate pick-me. They're a little too doting, and that works for some people, and for others it doesn't. So it just depends on who you are, but it can be an insult.
Yeah, no, fuck right off away from me. I don't want any golden retrievers.
You are more like a Shih Tzu.
I'm not talking about me. I don't, but I do not want a golden retriever near me.
No, okay. Person or dog?
Person.
That's why you got this here kitty cat. I don't know what the fuck I am.
You know what's the easiest way to get me to stop hanging out with you?
Want to hang out with you.
Yeah, or more specifically, if we're doing something fun, for you to say, oh, this is fun.
I know, Matt. I know.
I know you know. This movie was released as Welcome to the Jungle in the rest of the world, which is funny because The Rock would one day make a movie called Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. But even that is a much better title.
Well, and Jungle Cruise.
And Jungle Cruise as well. And Jungle Cruise is not good, but this movie did make me think maybe I should give... Yeah. We're not currently scheduled to do Jungle Cruise, but maybe
we'll take a little...
as a Patreon. I don't know.
Well, yeah. You know, Christopher Walken, he's doing like a John Voight here, but like one that I really enjoy watching.
A John Voight?
Type villain. Am I saying the right? Angelina Jolie's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John Voight makes me uncomfortable. And Christopher Walken always makes me feel like I want to hug him. So whenever he's so ill, I like the tension because like you don't have to convince me not to hug John Voight, but I want to hug that guy. And so when he's being a shit, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Wait. Okay.
It's interesting. Hugging Christopher Walken.
Come on. He needs a hug.
You know, so I really like this movie. I think if I have a critique of it, I think it has a few too many elements in it, maybe.
Yep.
And I think you're in agreement about this. I mean,
I don't get it.
The sports stats and specifically that come up at the beginning of the movie, which are just a joke. It's just
fine, but he does it multiple times in this one scene that you think, okay, no, the guy has like a Terminator eyeball, so he can zoom in and like bring up facts because he's kind of like a machine. But then he's got all this heart and he's just a real soft person. So it's like, which is it, man?
I was not taking it as this is what Beck actually sees.
But doesn't it? I guess you have to watch a lot of football to totally get that that's what this reference is. Because to me, it was Terminator reference and video game.
Yeah,
it felt like he had like a computer brain. Like, what were they trying to prove here? That he really studied up for this assignment, or that he used to be a football player? Because is this like a nod to his days in Miami? I don't understand. So, like, who's the joke on? Who's this? Is this an inside joke or is it for everyone? Because I don't get it.
Yeah.
Did he like really read his boss gave him an envelope? Here's your new job. I'm going to learn what all these people's jersey numbers are. Or I'm just really into football, so I know this. Don't worry, club owner. I don't know which it is.
So that he is a football fan, we see.
Yeah.
Which I think is very funny because
I love that he doesn't want to hurt them for the coming season. I love that.
And that I guess it is that he's a big nerd. because the movie opens with he's listening to the radio and some guy on the radio is talking about mushrooms and he's like, the best type of mushroom is
Emerald
a porcini.
Lagasse.
Okay, sorry.
He's a New Orleans native. Bam.
And so, and The Rock, as Beck, try to call him back in this movie, writes that down in his little notebook. Porcini mushroom.
Because he's going to have a restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's sweet.
But he's a little nerd who's like, I need to make my plans. Remember porcini mushroom. He's kind of like Jamie Foxx in Collateral, where he's like, he's just got big plans. This taxi driving job is temporary. Peter Berg was also in that movie, Collateral. So how about that?
How about it?
But we see Peter Berg come in and call Beck into the club. He's like, this is an extremely private, ritzy party. So he brings Beck into the club and he's like, here's the deal with the target. And they pass Arnold Schwarzenegger on the way. Have fun. And Beck stares down at all the football players in the bar. These are all members of whatever team this is. And so we get the on-screen 2002 ESPN graphics that tell us, what position they play, what college they went to, their weight and height. And
fine. But the fact that he can rattle this off about each of them, their weight, their height, where they went to college, that's some sort of like photographic memory shit right there. So I think they needed to have not done it here, or when it's time now to go to the next job, this last job, I need to see that you studied up on this too. You zoom into the bad guy. Fucking Fletcher. What is his name? Hatcher. This, wanted for this. Alias is this. And then rich guy. Your daddy won Chicago trouble. Blah, 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 blah. Like, but no. It's gone.
You're right. I think this might be the bias of like Peter Berg, whose next movie is a football movie and just he loves sports. That to a sports fan, it's not weird to know where everybody went to college and what their measurements are.
Okay.
Because like I can tell you every football player where they went to school. I'm not good with height and weight, but I know jersey numbers.
I know you do. But that club owner didn't. I mean, that club owner seemed like he was going to describe who they were, but then he was like, I got this one. Like, so I guess it's just a pissing match at that little moment. Let me show you how manly I am. I already know all this shit.
And I like that Peter Berg as the club guy is like, I don't care. I don't like football. But The Rock continues explaining like, well, and he went to Mississippi State. It's like, why are you telling him this? He doesn't care. But I like that the whole team is here, but the quarterback of the team, he throws like Brett Favre and he bets like Pete Rose. So he's in deep with the loan shark, and The Rock just has to go down there and collect from him. Mm-hmm. And so again, I like how low stakes this is.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a good amount of money, but still, this is just over like $50,000 over some gambling money.
He's a gopher.
Mm-hmm. And he goes down to this quarterback, Brian Knapp Miller.
In fact, this is interesting because you get the sense he probably never has to travel to do these gopherings. Because you're right, he's just a go collect the money from a loan shark.
Mm-hmm.
You don't loan all over the place.
Right.
You loan locally. He was really out of his element when he had to go to Brazil.
He goes down to the quarterback, Brian Knapp Miller, and he's like, hey, and the quarterback's like, hey, man, I can't get you a tryout. Sorry. He's like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here because you owe a lot of money. And the quarterback just kind of brushes him off. He's like, look, here's a G to get you started. Now get out of my face. And The Rock's like, well, that's not going to work. I'm going to need some collateral from you. I'm going to need your Super Bowl ring. But look, just give me it under the table. It's fine. I won't embarrass you. And the guy's like, no, fuck you. And so Beck walks away, and I like that, like, he's not excited about this job he's doing, and he can be a little flustered, but he is an extremely capable, violent man who does not want to do that. He would rather just talk calmly with this guy.
He's reluctant. His very stature is imposing. So you come up on these people, they think you're here to fuck them up, and then you're gentle, and they're like, oh, no, thank you. I will disrespect you. You are a fucking sucker. For you to even offer this means you're weak. So they don't expect the flip. But he's a very reluctant bad guy. Physically imposing, beat him up guy. He doesn't want to beat him up. He wants to cook him up.
Yeah. So he calls his boss and he's like, look, he's not going to hand me over the ring. What do I do? The guy's like, well, kick some ass. Do the shit that you do. And he's like, but listen, the team has a very legitimate shot at repeating this year. I don't want to hurt them, which I love.
Yeah, it's $50,000. He's good for it.
The whole offensive line is there, and he's like, I could actually really hurt the team.
Like, send a letter to his mom. She'll fucking yell at him and get the $50,000. You don't have to do this.
But the guy's like, no, go kick some ass. So he does. He kicks some ass. My favorite, he battles the whole football team. My favorite part is when he takes the turntable from the DJ stand and smashes it into the guy's face, which makes the music stop.
Yes.
And then the on-screen stats for Beck come on. Yeah. And this is the rundown. But then in the parking lot, he gets shot with some beanbags.
And then you're like, wait, is this like a quirk of the boss of this little gang that they only non-lethal weapons here? Like you're not allowed to use guns. In fact, you have to dislodge every gun that you find. You can't use bullets. You got to use beanbags. Like they all have their little non-lethal tricks. It's a very ethical little crime circle.
I know. It's not. Yes, it's
nice.
It's nice. That's nice. That's you being nice.
They're being nice.
Yeah, get shot with the beanbags.
Sorry, mate.
So it goes up to his boss and he's like, I got shot with beanbags, so I don't have the shit anymore. But, and his boss is like, oh, sorry. Once you called me, I thought you were going to puss out on me, so I had to get somebody else. I had to get some backup. But, yeah. And The Rock is like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. You owe me a lot of money. Give me my money, and I want to leave and start my restaurant now.
Come on. Clean bill of health.
And the guy is like, all right, fine, but you got to do one last job. Here's what's going on. My son is in the Amazon. He's in the city of El Dorado. That's right. It's real. El Dorado, down in Brazil. Go down to El Dorado, please, and please do collect my son and return him. Walk my son through those doors, and the slate will be wiped clean. You'll get $250,000 seed money for your restaurant. Okay, good. The son, Travis, Seann William Scott, he is a Stanford dropout who thought he could be a treasure hunter, but he got in trouble in the gold mining town of El Dorado. And I like this line. He's like, so he pissed off the wrong person, and the guy says, the Rock's boss says, so I bought him some forgiveness. But if I don't bring him back here to face the music, well, you know I can't carry a tune.
Like, it worked for me in the moment, but now I'm like...
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
What the fuck?
But I love lines like that. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think the movie's issue is that it's playing with too many different genres, because you have, like, kind of hard-boiled crime right here.
Right.
Where
but
people will say stuff like this. But then it's also, like, a fun adventure movie.
Yes.
But then also a sort of Western.
Well, also sort of Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's an adventure movie. I'm sorry. But the story, the plot literally is Star Wars the whole time. Like that's the first thing that stood out to me.
All right, you said this to me. You want to explain this?
I mean, it's the reluctant hero who's in it because it's a job. He's going to get paid, and then he finds himself in like a real moral situation where there are lives at stake. This is literal slavery. This is one man trying to take over this entire empire, and should he join up with literally the people called the rebels? And so, you know, it goes in there for a job, but he ends up doing a mission or two because it's the right thing to do. He's Han Solo. That's it. But it ended up being that was like in the, I don't know, or first, that was in the beginning of the movie, and it grew into its very own thing. I didn't have to think of it like that anymore. But anyway, yeah. Felt very Star Wars.
And when Lacey says this is like Star Wars, she means, oh, this sucks.
No. I just meant I know that George Lucas picked a very classic formula for his story. So me saying this is like Star Wars, I could say it for 1,000 movies because it's just a very... it's just very usable. It's just when literally Rosario Dawson says we're rebels, I'm like, okay, all right, Leo. But this is very real. You see it. They're sweaty. They're dirty. They're fucked up looking. The people who you see the pain on these people. It's a really effective way in a lighthearted movie of giving you stakes. I don't think it's easy to thread that needle, and he does it in a bunch of different ways. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, like Star Wars, this plane that The Rock flies down in, he looks at the wing, he's like, is that duct tape? Everything's kind of falling apart. All the equipment's kind of shitty.
Well, you need a screwy guy in an airplane. Every fucking person that drives a helicopter or a plane in one of these movies has to be weird.
Yeah, if I'm a Scottish guy who ended up in El Dorado, Brazil, flying a little plane, I'm going to be fucked up somehow. You know, because this is played by Ewan Bremner, Spud from Trainspotting. Maybe this literally is Spud after he got the $10,000.
Sure.
And this is where he went. I'm ignoring what happens in Trainspotting 2.
Got it.
Where we just find out, here's what he did with that money. He bought lots of drugs and it ruined his life. Spoiler alert. But yeah, he's funny. He's like, oh, we can't land. There's bees on the grind.
There's buttes. Booze
on the grind. And The Rock says, booze?
Buttes. It's fucking cows. Buttes.
Bulls. He's saying bulls.
He's not.
Yes, he is. I watch it with subtitles.
Big longhorn buttes.
That's not what a butte is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, butte is a geographical formation. So you're saying that a bull's horns are called buttes?
I thought a bull was called a butte.
All right, let's look this up.
Like a type of cow.
A butte is a flat-topped hill.
Or a cow.
Butte cow.
There you go, butte cow. History of the butte cow right there.
History of the butter cow. Missing the word butte. There's buttes on the grain.
You got me on this one.
So yeah, they arrive in El Dorado surrounded by a jungle full of dangerous animals and also rebels. And Ewan Bremner's like, you don't want to go into the jungle. Ooh, there's anacondas. Stay away from that jungle. It's very scary. Methinks he'll be in that jungle though. All centered on this mining town, this mining concern run by Hatcher, who staffs this with indigenous Brazilians who he pays slave wages. And there's a sign on the road that says El Dorado, but altered to say Hell Dorado.
And they get that across right away. I don't totally understand what's going on, but then, I mean, it doesn't take long before I'm like, oh. So good job. They're explaining very complicated shit without not a lot of exposition, and I'm not confused the whole time.
Yeah, this screenplay is really good at doling out the exposition. Later, there's a thing The Rock will say to Rosario Dawson. It's just like, yeah, I got pushed around a lot and I pushed back, and eventually I pushed back on the wrong person. And it's basically all you need to know about him.
Well, right. And that it was, word got around that I was good at it. So I did it.
So we meet Seann William Scott as Travis and Rosario Dawson as Mariana.
And it seems like a romantic situation is happening. So I'm like, oh, is there going to be a love interest in this movie? I didn't know there was room for one. And it's just Seann William Scott trying to get some favors off of this lady that he has befriended in this town. He is rich, but he doesn't have any stuff. He needs
to borrow her boat, her uncle's boat. Because he found the Gato. The Gato.
Behind the moving curtain.
And it's just this priceless artifact. And he's like, can I have your uncle's boat to go get the Gato? And she's like, I'll go with you and I'll get the Gato and we'll split it. It's 50-50. He's still kind of doing his Seann William Scott thing, the Stifler thing, but it's toned way down.
He's using a straight, like his eyes aren't squinty. Look at him. He looks handsome. He just has a normal face. And he has an odd, that's a very distinctive face, but he's handsome as shit. In a way that I've never found him handsome before.
It's just very interesting to watch him in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of a funny action guy.
Right. God, it really feels like a missed opportunity. It's not too late. Guys have so many years on them because the more grizzled you get, the more handsome you get for some fucking reason. So, Seann William Scott.
We get a look at this mining place, this mining company. It really does look like hell on earth. We've got Harvey, who is Christopher Walken's second in command. He's played by John Grease, the guy from the show from White Lotus, who killed Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my God!
You killed me.
You killed me.
The gays are trying to kill me.
Why can't I have an impression that's mine? You have 100 of them. Can you get off my dick?
They asked The Rock, "Do you have a gun?" And he's like, "No, I don't like guns." The deal with this character, he doesn't like guns. Finally. This camp, it's under constant surveillance. They're armed to the gills, and they have whip men, big whip men. Right. But The Rock, he surveys and he sees all the angles. Right. And so we get our first look.
We zooming in. He's got the fucking zoomy brain again. It's like, where's the graphics? I don't know about football.
We get our first good look at Christopher Walken, and he's like, tell them to dig harder. If only it were that simple. So he's introduced to Mr. Beck. Do you know Travis, this man Travis? And Christopher Walken's like, yeah, I let him stay in town because he wants to do some excavating, and I told him he could in exchange for 60% of whatever he might find. A very
fair wage, a very fair split.
And what Christopher Walken says is, why? Do you have business with him? I love business. Why come to me? He's like, because when I go into a man's house, I don't like to open his refrigerator without asking first. So he's like, come here, look at this.
Look at this big hole in the ground.
Shows him the big hole in the ground.
All the men inside.
Does this look like a refrigerator?
If it is, it's overrun with rodents.
And he says, no, it looks like hell. well, you see hell, I see spellbinding opportunity. And he gives a great villain monologue, it's all about keeping your eye on the ball. Is someone somewhere and someone needs a Rolex watch? Well, how do you think they get it? They get it from here.
And somehow Beck leaves with his question being answered, which is, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna go get that guy then. But then he's like, you can extricate him, but he owes me $10,000. So, but you don't know that you think The Rock's gonna go get him and get Travis to pay him. Like that's what I thought. I thought they'd make a stop.
I took it as The Rock knows this guy runs this town. I have to pay him tribute in order to conduct my own business.
Sure, but this Travis guy's rich. Let me just go get the money from him. That's what I'm saying. It was not totally clear that The Rock made that transaction. So actually, I'm a little surprised when The Rock goes to the next scene, goes to get Travis, and just as like it's very clear he plans to go straight to the airplane. I'm like, oh, okay, Mr. Good Guy, Mr. Straight and by the man of his word, you aren't going to pay that $10,000. That's why all this is going to ensue. Hatcher's going to want his 10 grand, which is so low stakes. I should have realized, but. That's not what it is.
No. He goes to the bar where Rosario Dawson works. And she's like, hey, you're American? Yeah. Where are you from? Some places got bartenders. I kind of like that. There's this annoying exchange about the Brazil nuts. Here we just call them nuts. But hey, Travis Walker, here you are. This is one of many times he does the thing like got two choices, option A or option B.
He really wants people to choose option A.
Option A, you just come quietly. Option B, I kick the shit out of you when you leave anyway.
No way his boss was like, okay, here's what you do when you're a gopher of mine. You always opt for them to get out of here alive. It's like, nope, this is just the moral code of this man because he is reluctant to be this guy.
Right. And Seann William Scott says, I'll take option C. And option C is I try to fight you, I break a bottle on your head, but he just immediately gets his ass kicked.
I really thought option C was going to be like, let me go get the gato. I'm going to split the money with, that's what it was.
There's a little bit too much like shifting alliances and I'll get the gato and I'll share it with you, but no, I'll betray you and run off with the gato myself, but I'm going to send you the money, but don't worry.
I don't know. I think it tracks. It's just a lot of people reacting to the situation they're in with the leverage that they have. I think it is a little bit like, oh, look, Rosario Dawson is actually the leader of the Rebel Alliance here. But it's not that stupid because if you want a person in the town that's going to serve as your mole, you need her to be the most capable and the person they'd least expect. And her being beautiful doesn't hurt. So I'm like, even this I buy.
So Christopher Walken and his goons, they show up in the bar just as Beck is about to leave with Travis. Yeah, they show up. The bad guys show up. And Beck is like, but I paid you. And Christopher Walken is Hatcher. He's like, unfortunately, I had my fingers crossed. So he's not going to leave because he needs Travis to lead him to the gato. And The Rock now is like, well, I'm going to leave with my prisoner. Sorry. And this is just like a classic Western scenario.
Yeah.
Of like, nope, I'm taking him to be hanged. Literally like the first scene of Deadwood.
Don't even talk about Deadwood.
I'm facing a giant posse, but I, a righteous man, will do what is right. I'm going to take this man to Los Angeles for justice in the form of his dad punching him in the face. But he single-handedly fights all of them off without a gun. It's pretty cool.
And he really inconveniences them by taking the thingies out of the thingies when he grabs their guns. Now they're going to have to bend over, grab it, go ka.
That's why heroes are always doing that, why they're always emptying the guns, because it's like now you're creating more work for them. God damn it.
I don't think heroes are always doing that. That's just
They
this
are
guy
always doing
saying,
it.
no, they're not. You're talking about when people are reloading.
Now, what
but
if
yeah, sometimes they're just
I
like.
just saw this in something. What
at
was
the
it?
John Wick, I think.
That's probably
Yeah,
it,
because it's just like, okay, I can't grab all these guns, but I also don't want you guys grabbing them behind me and chasing me. So let me at least like unload a few and then grab the ones I can carry.
If you're interested in one man fighting a bunch of guys in a bar without using guns, watch Scott Adkins's movie Avengement. Very fun. Just a little sidebar for everyone.
This one's good.
Yeah, this one's good too.
Every fight scene is good and it doesn't go on for too long, which is always my complaint with action.
Mm-hmm. So a guy takes out a whip and flicks it at The Rock, but The Rock just grabs the whip.
For sure there's going to be an Indiana Jones joke, but he doesn't have a gun.
Right.
Like, he can't do the joke.
Can't do that joke. And so they just escape easily. And Christopher Walken's like, they're dead already. They just don't know it. In the Jeep, Seann William Scott is just like running his mouth. He's like, dude, you gotta, okay, come in get the gato with me. I'll double it. I'll quadruple it. I'll double it and quadruple it. Come on, man. No, you're not going to listen to me. Okay, I will grab the wheel and make us tumble down the mountain to our deaths.
But no, he's just really confident. He's like, I have fallen twice now down this thing on accident. So I already know I can do it. That's my take. He's like, no, we're going right into the river where I need to get a boat and all this shit. Like I just need to show this man the gato and he will know that we need to stay.
Okay. Yeah. So he knows they are a good team. He's a good planner.
Yeah. I mean, I think at every moment you realize, no, he seems like a fumbling idiot, but he knows what to do next. And he's a huge jungle. But this whole time he's known, I need to get the car off the road here because right down there on that river, in this part of the river is where I think it's key that they were on the road first. It oriented him.
So Travis manages to unhandcuff himself, but then Beck easily catches up with him. And Travis, Seann William Scott, does the, what's this? Where he like, describe what this is.
Weird. He's just trying to do some misdirection long enough to get close enough to actually land a punch. And I'm sure this is just a skill he's like honed from having a very violent dad, which is like, that guy's big, but I can be tricky. He's like, look at this thunder, and he's just wiggling his leg, and look at this lightning.
Lifting up a foot, like, oh, am I going to kick you with this foot?
Or this foot. And then it's just all a bunch of like, where am I coming from so that I can get closer to you?
Do you think this is funny?
No.
Okay.
I don't. And I don't need it to be a bit, but I do like it the one time it works when he's in that store with that other guy. Mm-hmm. Then I like that he's like, whoa, it worked. And then you can tell he studied fighting in a book, because then he just repeats what he's like, foot, eyes, crotch, or whatever he does, and he's like saying like self-defense words out loud. So he's like, I've been waiting to get this close for this reason. Ha, ha, ha. Oh my God.
That's so nice for him that he finally got to do it.
I brained my way into this. I've been reading on this.
Well, The Rock just punches him in the face.
Right.
And
many times.
But I guess the funny thing about Travis, guys, is he won't be deterred. Mm-mm. Nothing will actually stop him. So he just like jumps on top of The Rock. Like whenever he gets the upper hand, it's be like, I will be so annoying to you that I will win, or I will at least, slow you down.
Right.
Christopher Walken is so mad that they've gotten away, so he gives the Tooth Fairy speech. I think this is the best remembered thing from this movie. He's like, he's explaining to all these, like indigenous Brazilians who work for him. He's like, there are two men out in the jungle trying to steal from me. I feel like a little boy who's lost his first tooth, waiting for the Tooth Fairy to come. Only two evil burglars crept into my window and snatched it before she could get it. Do you understand the concept of the Tooth Fairy? They have my tooth. I want it back.
Did you notice that Mr. Grease here is wearing a scorpion necklace?
Oh, hey. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey. Spinoff, maybe.
Oh, hi. Okay. I did not expect to like this part. But now we're in this, they're still walking through the jungle together. Who knows for what end? And Shawn Michaels Booth needs to pee, and his hands are behind him, and I this is an interesting thing because you don't think it's going to work, but he's adamant, I will not pee on myself. Like, okay, so The Rock could just be like, I don't care, pee on yourself. Like, who? It's just peeing on yourself. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't know why he's got to be so moved to, but there is something about Travis that Beck likes, even if he doesn't know he likes it yet. But there's something about him where he's like, okay, I'll let you keep your fucking dignity. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want this to be trauma for the rest of your life. So he agrees to unzip. And I'm just thinking, like, what an interesting
dilemma.
No, what an interesting mind power this man has over his dick, that he's so sure he's going to be able to maneuver it up and out and over. And then once it's out, how are you getting it back in? I don't. So this is like just not very well thought out. But then it's a very funny, convincing jumping around for him to get his dick out. He finally gets his dick out. I'm so relieved because I need to pee at this point too. And then during all the commotion, the unstoppable Beck gets a booby trap. Apparently very common in the jungle. This does not surprise Travis at all, and now Travis still has his hands back, has his dick dangling out, I suppose, but has the upper hand for the first time. And hilarity ensues because he doesn't have it for long. He also gets in a tricky trap.
Yeah, he finds the handcuff keys. He uncuffs himself, and then he's like, "Oh, and what's this? Your little diary? What's in this?" And the rocks are like, "Don't read it, no!
It's got mushroom."
And it just says like mushroom porcini, like a
little
veal
house.
marsala,
A little house, a little man,
and he's making fun of him, but then he ends up in one of these things too.
So now
they're both hanging upside down.
And it's like a little sweet little synchronized swing thing. But Travis knows what to like. This is not, he's gotten stuck in one, and again, he's got like a STEM brain. He's a smart guy. He's like, here's what we got to do. I think, right? Is he one that says to put our backs together?
I don't remember which of them says it.
Oh shit, fuck. Well, I don't know. They're swinging in tandem, and then all of a sudden, the monkeys. And I did not expect this to be funny, but when the monkey, he's like, they're humping you because of asserting their dominance. He's like, The Rock is just really funny here. He's just like, oh no, I don't know what he's doing, but like, there is something so very disturbing about the butts of these kinds of monkeys. I'm for sure thinking they're going to put a butt in The Rock's face, and that might probably be like too graphic because those butts are like wet and shiny and they look like labia. Anyway, so just a lot of monkey dick that you don't see is very classy choice.
And apparently The Rock really did let a monkey fuck him.
Okay.
Like his leg. No, I won't let a stunt person do it. I'll do it. I'm man enough to get fucked.
Okay.
Citation needed. I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
I think I just read it on Wikipedia.
I like it.
But yeah, a bunch of these monkeys try to fuck them, and then the rebels show up and rescue them. And there's the sequence where Seann William Scott is like, he's like, don't worry. Okay, that's their leader. You need to maintain constant eye contact with him, and I will speak Portuguese to them. And there's some funny subtitle jokes where he is telling them, this guy I'm working with, he says that you suck and your mom's ugly and that you...
Why does he stare at me like this?
That actually staring at me is a sign of disrespect. Their leader is Ernie Reyes Jr., who you might remember as Keno from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Okay, he did look familiar.
He is a trained martial artist.
He's amazing.
He was the body for Donatello in the first Ninja Turtles, and an actual stunt man and martial arts performer. And he is the leader of this little gang of rebels. And so they're going to have a little fight with The Rock.
He's not, but we think he is.
Well, they do fight.
But Rosario Dawson is the actual leader of the rebels.
Oh, yes. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Right. That says something you'd forget, isn't it? Because it's got a
That's on the next slide. So they begin this extended fight where they're doing, I guess, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not enough of a fight expert.
Trapeze.
But yeah, it's trapeze fight. And Peter Berg said he was inspired by the fight from They Live between Roddy Piper and Keith David, where it just goes on and on and on forever and has so many movements to it. But eventually Rosario Dawson comes in and she's like, boys, enough of that. Now they're just sitting around the fire.
Well, at first Beck is really getting his shit handed to him. And it's funny because it's just like with other scenes. It's because he does not understand why they're fighting. He's trying to show some like the opposite of dominance, and just like give them all a chance. And then he's like, all right, I've been flung enough. Now let me show you how I am fucking... I could kill a couple people. Yeah. And the look of respect at the end of that scene is so I love it because you see him softening the guy who fought like a damn machine. He's just like, God damn it, that was good. And then they have this cute little back and forth. Who would win, Ali or Muhammad? And Tyson or Muhammad Ali. And I found it touching when he gives him the necklace. Like, no, you are truly a warrior. I thought it was sweet. It is sweet. I thought they did a really good job of like, these are people who are working their asses off to save all the rest of the people who can't fight. And we're bit by bit trying to make this harder for these capitalist murderers.
Yeah. Which is why Rosario Dawson explains that's why she is joined up with them. 65 cents an hour, Mr. Beck, she says, which I believe is what Disney is going to be paying the workers to build the Abu Dhabi park. And
are you kidding? Or you mean it?
That's what they...
That's the actual number?
It might be a little bit more than that, but there is a definition, like a UN definition of slave wages, and it is something like that.
Wow.
So they have the sweet conversation, Ali or Tyson, through translators, they have it. But then the goddamn bad guys show up, Hatcher and co, and they shoot.
Let us take a moment here to go to start thinking more about, or to build on our idea of like the sexless Rock. He takes off his shirt and he fucking looks great when his shirt's off. I'm not into all that big muscle shit, but there's just something about his makeup that I'm like, okay. So that he can put salve on his cut. But like, why get the Rock to take his shirt off next to Rosario Dawson, rub some shit on his shit? She's turned away, and you're thinking she's going to turn back and go, damn, you know, like they're setting up something, but nothing happens.
I know.
It's just a business partnership, and it's so lacking any sexual tension that I at one point think, okay, I guess Travis is actually going to get the girl here. I enjoy that neither of them did. That it's all just business. I like that. I didn't think this movie came out at a time where that was allowed, so good on you. But it's like the movie's trying, and then they're in editing, they're like, no, that didn't.
There's weirdly no sexual attraction or chemistry between Rosario Dawson, and The Rock.
Yes. Like, no, he's just like a little pop-up brother bear. He's Daniel Tiger. Like, he's just in the neighborhood. There's nothing there. I don't get it.
Yeah, because there is something nice about it not ending up with, there's no love triangle. But there's a reason that like sexual chemistry, romance is in movies, which is it is fun to see. It's a major part of human experience. Yes. And when all these people with their hot bodies are all with each other all the time in these heightened situations, it is a natural thing to happen. I
mean, there's literally 2 kisses on the cheek in this movie.
Yeah.
They even attempted again where Rosario's like, she's the last one in the waterfall scene to come out of the water. And they do it kind of sexy, and she comes up and she's in just like a shirt, and it's wet and it's hot, and then they just right on to, it's like they're like, we got some shots just in case that's what this movie is, and both times I'm like, wrong movie.
There's even a thing where Seann William Scott calls her to the Rock, says, my girl. You're trying to get my gato, you're trying to get my girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, but she doesn't seem like your girl, and also he doesn't seem like he wants her either. And I'm glad you pointed this out. Yes, it is kind of strange. It's not that it makes the movie bad. It's just interesting.
Just like, wow, there were all the elements here, and you don't even have to like make it into anything. She's got a whole fucking city to rebuild. Like, she doesn't need a husband, but a little something. Come on now. I don't know.
So they all escape, and the 3 heroes escape in a boat. They go on a little jungle cruise. This is the Indiana Jones section of the movie that went on a lot longer in my memory, but it's kind of short.
There's a lot. This is one time where I'm like, okay, what is going on? There's just a lot of staring at each other. Like, I get it. They're all 3 trying to figure each other out. Like, what is this angle? Who are you? Why are you doing this? But it's just said through like her staring both of them down, him. They're all, it's just, if you watch it just for the staring, from the boat and then into them walking after they get out of the boat, it's like, this is really a lot of fucking stare. Just say something. And then finally Rosario Dawson does, and she's like, why do you do this? It's like, you could have said this on the boat.
Why do you do this? He says the thing I said earlier, but like, I grew up in a rough place, got pushed back, standing in a room with the wrong people. You know, I'm just like you. And she's like, no, you're nothing like me.
Right.
She's an idealist. She believes in something. She's involved in a political cause.
In fact, I think Travis is displaying how smart he is the whole time. And this is the first moment where I'm like, this guy's fucking dumb. Beck, how are you anything like her? Because she got guns, she go boom boom. What the fuck?
Well, he only knows what he knows.
No, she's already explained it. He's already seen the slaves. He's already met Hatcher. He already got the fucking talk for the refrigerator. I
think to him it's like,
we all go boom boom, huh? Everyone that fights is bad.
I think he accepts what Christopher Walken says about like our world necessitates the existence of camps like these. And I'm not going to put my head in the sand about it. This is basically what the Republican Party says. Like, we are going to need to do things like have exploitation of labor. We're going to have to need to lock up kids in cages, have ICE go raid elementary schools and stuff. And I only ask that you don't be a goddamn pussy about it. And Beck is like, yes, I agree. But here he's finding out, no, maybe I shouldn't agree.
But like, you already had the camp scene. You already got a necklace. That man died in front of your eyes right after giving you the necklace, and you still don't get it?
It's a slow evolution.
Oh,
this is the Han Solo arc that he is following.
Fine.
They get the Gato, which is in a temple, an Indiana Jones temple. And it just goes on a little while.
A little bit. This is where the movie drags a little for me.
Yeah, me too. And it also like... the temple like collapses and it really seems like they're stuck there forever, and then it just cuts and they're around a fire later. Like, we did it. We got the thing.
We got the
idol.
I love when people are paralyzed in movies.
Me
or,
too.
Like comically,
Yes.
just like move, or they're forced to talk weird like that.
Yeah, there was
Guy or monkey.
when I did my Jurassic Park rewatch in Fallen Kingdom, which I think is the best of the Jurassic World movies, there's a part where Chris Pratt gets paralyzed and he's on the ground as lava is coming toward him.
Oh.
And it was like, that's a good idea. That's a good little thing. Let's raise the stakes. Show us something new, not just like, oh, a dinosaur. Oh, no.
And I just like when body parts come back to life like later than others. So it's just like I can get my ass up and then I can like and like I can talk. So I'm just like, it's just a string. It's just your consciousness out loud because you can talk and that's all you can do. Oh no, lava.
So Rosario Dawson, she's sitting around a fire with them and she's like, yes, we have won the movie. Great. We have the Gato. We shall split the spoils. To celebrate, eat some fruit. And the other two eat some fruit and then they start tripping balls. And we have some
paralyzed.
CGI.
They're not just
makes their heads expand and stuff, and then they both drop to the ground and they're paralyzed.
They just have Snapchat filters, right?
And she's like, "I'm so sorry, but I gotta." Although, why does she do this though? She's gonna like mail them their money.
She needs to rebuild this town. Like these people have been suffering. They need medical care. They need actual facilities. These guys, they want the bad guys out, so they're gonna need money. Like she's still trying to take care of El Dorado or whatever. So yeah, she's going to sell it on the black market, get the money, and help her people.
But she also tells Seann William Scott, like, I'm going to mail you your cut.
Yes. But because she doesn't want Seann Williams to like stop her from selling it a different way or going a different route. She needs the money then and now. And she doesn't want to wait on him to do whatever he's going to do. She wants to do it.
So, but she's like, hey, look, the fire will keep the bad animals away. In the morning, you're going to be unparalyzed. Just walk that way. There's your airplane.
Right. Well, she sticks to her word and gives him a little kiss. It's nice.
So they are paralyzed. It's now the next morning. They are still paralyzed. And the monkeys have returned. And so it's like, monkey.
It just happens to be exactly what we say when something bothers our sun, which is get out of here, bug, get out of here, whatever.
Frog.
Get out of here, clouds, get out of here, rain. And it's just, get out of here, monkey.
So The Rock is yelling all kinds of stuff at the monkeys, and Seann William Scott just keeps repeating, get out of here, monkey. Get out of here, monkey. But they regain their, just in time before they could be raped by the monkeys, they regain their control and walk back over to
He's asserting his dominance. Sorry.
Walk back over to Ewan Bremer. And he's like, oh no, I heard Rosario Dawson. She's been tortured and captured. Oh no. And they're like, oh, well, shit. That sucks.
No one's like, oh, well. The Rock is like,
oh, heck.
Rock's like, there goes that feeling again. That Han Solo feeling.
Yeah, so
that Han duo.
He handcuffs Travis to a post, and he's like, I'm going to go help our friend. And Travis is like, you can't do it alone. You need my help. You even need his help. You even need Ewan Bremner's help. And he's like, don't pull me into this. I got a bad knee.
You see it?
He's like, okay, fine. I'll uncuff you. And I know you're going to betray me somehow, but I'm just going to have faith that you'll help me in some way. Mm-hmm. So let's go. This starts with them.
Then they got the buttes. Which
Chekhov's buttes come back in the form of these bulls, these bears. And
they're a butte.
Ewan Bremer playing the bagpipe to invade this town.
He's like, if you play the bagpipe, and he's like, I'm just celebrating the harvest, but it looks like I walked too far.
And Christopher Walken, well, of course, The Rock has to do this thing where he gets into radio contact with Christopher Walken. He's like, listen, I'm coming for you. So you have two options. Option A, leave town. Option B, I come fucking kill you and all your guys.
There goes your fucking benefit of surprise or whatever. I hate when people do that.
So Christopher Walken's like, lock down the town. And they lock down the town. And this very much becomes like Commando, where that island, that fortress island locks down, but Arnold Schwarzenegger arrives anyway all by himself and kicks ass.
Kicks it.
And then there's a stampede of cattle with their buttes, which allows Travis and Beck to sneak in, and they start kicking ass themselves. And I think this is pretty fun. I don't think Peter Berg is a great action director. I think he is merely good.
Okay. I enjoyed this scene.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I like that the Scottish guy goes and sits down with that lady.
Yeah.
Just kind of has a beer. It just kind of mellows you out for the whole thing. Like, all right.
I guess I want it to be like a little more triumphant than it is. But like things are closing in on The Rock, and he starts like really becoming like Will Graham and Hannibal, like noticing all the things, doing all the math, noticing all the gun barrels.
He's been doing that the whole time, but only when Hatcher's around or fucking football players for some reason. But I was dumbfounded that you're going to put a big cross on someone's face of a broken nose like harness thing after the first fight scene, and no one in the entire movie is going to punch him in it.
Oh man, you're
How?
right.
I am nervous the whole time for when it's coming, because I know it's coming, because I've had a broken nose before, and I'm like, don't do it. No, it never happens.
That is some bullshit.
Bullshit. Butte shit.
But he finally decides, fuck it, I'm getting guns.
Let me show you what happens when guns happen. I don't cock like this ever.
No.
Ever. I go, ha ha, and I go, ha ha, and then, ha. That's what happens when I get guns.
So there's a lot of him being a cool cowboy and shooting people and walking away from explosions.
I'm totally, okay, except for when he walks away from the explosion, that's the only thing I'm like, that's so stupid. Except for that I realized it was to juxtapose his walking from Seann William Scott's Travis from Travis's like, oh, with the fire behind him. Like they do both separate instead of like together.
Yeah.
Because they're still very separate, Matt.
They are separate, but
They're not friends
he
yet.
Travis does things his own way. He saves Rosario Dawson from John Grease,
Yeah.
and a giant water tower collapses onto him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we should have seen the shot of the big water thing landing on his nose.
On his nose.
And The Rock, the three whipsmen close in on him, and it looks like they're going to beat him. But Travis saves him by shooting one of them, and then he's like, "All right, walking away with the gato now."
Yeah.
And then Christopher Walken comes in. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you, The Rock." But then Rosario Dawson shoots him.
She shoots his gun out, or I don't know, it's just like you've got moves. Then that starts his negotiation. And then I'm glad it doesn't go on for too long, because like, just die.
Yeah, so he
Just
starts.
die.
Now all the rebels are just surrounding him and just staring at him. It's really good. And he's like, "I'm pumping the blood of the modern world into your backwood veins, you stinking ingrate Oompa Loompa morons." And one of them just shoots him.
He gets shot twice in undefined place, and he's like, "I like option A," and he starts walking away, and then just, oh shit.
So like, it's very mild, but like, I don't know if a movie today would be this naked about this evil capitalist guy. Just, I'm a businessman here to exploit you.
When did Blood Diamond come out?
2007,
And this is what?
2003.
Exactly.
Things changed.
No, I don't know. I thought it was anti-blood diamond. It's called a blood diamond.
No, it's in favor of blood diamonds. It loves them.
No, it's not.
So Travis returns. They're like, "Oh man, Travis, turns out he was only out for himself." And he's like, "No, surprise, I'm out for you, my
Belongs
friends.
in a museum.
Here is the idol." And he gives it over to Mariano, who holds it up in triumph. And it really feels like The Rock is going to let Seann William Scott go, but he's like, "No, I got a job to do."
So I got to do the thing. Right. He needs a clean slate. That man needs a restaurant. Peppercini.
Now, he could have told him what he was going to do, but instead he's like, "No, we're going to fly back for 35 hours with you thinking I'm delivering you to your dad to be killed or whatever."
Wait, what are you talking about? He doesn't know he's going to help him. It's not till he sees how his dad's treating him that he changes his mind.
But he brought the fruit.
Yes, to put in food. This is not something he had in the forefront of his mind. Maybe he thought he'd get there and he'd see the dynamic and maybe he'd need the fruit. Maybe. Okay. But there's no way that was not something he figured out right in that. No, Matt. No. Because just like you said, why would he not tell him? That's mean.
That is mean.
So he's not a mean guy. Fucking add it up, Matt. He wanted, also you see the way he sees, like this is a person who would hit not just somebody with his arms tied behind his back who can't defend himself, but his own son with his like this guy's a man of honor in just doing things that because they're the right thing. And he sees someone treat their kid like that. He just needed to see it. I'm right.
I think that this is the one time where you are right, even though you said you're right. But
Matt, I'm often right when I think I'm right. Often.
No, but you've pointed it out. When you are right and you know you're right, you say, wait, what do you say? Fuck, what do you say?
Exactly.
There's two things you say. I'm right and...
You're Indians.
What's the other fucking thing? What the fuck? Well...
Somebody's dyslexic.
Objecting to how much you've been saying Matt, because that means you're mad at me, but...
What?
We already talked about how mad we are at each other. So, okay, we're back at home, Mr. Walker's house. Beck hands him over through the door just like they made the deal. The exchange is done. We now go our separate ways. And then the dad just punches his son in the face.
Mean.
And so Beck is like, you know what? Right before I leave, down in Brazil, they have the craziest custom. They eat fruit. Let's toast our new arrangement with the eating of fruit. And I like that Mr. Walker, the Seann William Scott's dad's like, yeah, let's just get this shit over with. Come on, boys. And all the boys gather around.
And the guy's like, some fruit. Seeds. I don't like big seeds.
And then they start tripping balls and then they all fall over paralyzed. So they go outside.
He forgot to kiss them all.
That's a key element of it. They go outside. Travis is like, thanks for doing that, but I still hate you. I'm still mad at you. Now I'm going to kick your ass with my little thing. Oh, the foot. Is the foot coming? Is this foot coming? Oh, I'm just kidding. Let's go. And the last line of the movie is The Rock saying, I'm going to kill him.
See, that's why you need another one. Is he going to kill him? Or are they going to have a great time with the restaurant and the peppercini and the cockatoo?
Our final thoughts and star ratings on the rundown. I'm going to let Lacey take this first.
I give it a 4, and it's not based on directing or other characters, though they were fine. And I probably would give it a 3.5 if I'm being full picture. It's probably 3.5 movie. But because we're going to be watching a lot of The Rock, and I think this is probably the peak, I needed to give him a 4. I like him as a person. You can't know everything. You can't know everything. He thought he knew everything. He wrong. 4.
All right. I give it a 4 because I think it's a fun-ass movie.
It is fun. Talking about it made it feel more fun.
And it's got a great top-notch cast. Love Christopher Walken being just evil and delicious. And love Rosario Dawson. She kicks ass. I think Seann William Scott, never better than in this movie.
Never better.
And The Rock might have never been better.
Ever. Yeah, you're right. It deserves a 4 no matter what. I think I gave it a 3.5 in my mind because it is the first half of the third act that just starts to get slow. And it's also when you realize they really are never going to bring these graphics back in. What the fuck were those? And it's just a few too many little things. But I think the fun and the chemistry and the trickiness of such a serious story being so well told with so few words, it deserves a 4.
Yeah, if what keeps it from me rating it even higher is I think that the part that drags, which is the most Indiana Jones fetch quest part of it.
We don't need it. Just get the gato.
Yes. And that is where it feels like one element too many in the soup of this being a neo-Western and a bounty hunter movie and a
mafia.
Yeah.
Football.
One element too many.
Right.
And I just wish the action were a little better, a little tighter.
But you could tell all of them are doing their own shit. Well,
they're doing a lot of their own shit.
Yeah. There's a few things only they're rocked into it.
But yeah, really delighted by this movie. And so I'm sure that the next movie we cover will be even better. The Tooth Fairy.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that.
It's all connected. And this movie had a scorpion. They're all gonna, like Pixar, they have teasers.
All right. Wait, these aren't teasers. These are post teasers. They're preasers.
Sure.
It's not a teaser if it's after. It's a callback or an Easter egg.
It is because
it's an Easter.
No, because time, Lacey. God, you
Oh my
think
God,
you
it's
think
a
time?
flat circle.
Yeah, you think effects precede or proceed causes? You fucking moron. Tooth Fairy. You know anything about this movie? I don't.
What's to know? Look at it. All I see is Hulk Hogan holding up 2 kids, Mr. Mom, whatever the fuck that movie, or Mr. Nanny. That's it, Mr. Nanny. Or I see like fucking John Batista, and he's like, "Oh, I'm with these kids." Or I fucking see John Cena, and he's like, "Oh my God, kids, right?" That's all I say.
That's Dave Batista, but okay.
No, it's John.
Now, I think I smushed Tooth Fairy and the game plan together in my head. I know that Tooth Fairy involves like magic, and he actually becomes the Tooth Fairy. That this isn't
So
just like
Santa Claus.
This isn't just like football player like accidentally adopts a girl and is like,
Oh, okay.
I have to change her diaper, but I like hitting tight ends.
You didn't have to juxtapose those 2 things. Diaper and tight end.
Sorry. But we shall see. Yeah, I was excited to do this movie because it's got a bad reputation and its plot seems insane. So that is next week. Episode 164, June 27th, 2025.
Day after my birthday.
I want to tell everybody
after my birthday.
that we have a Patreon, patreon.com/loadbearing.
For my birthday, could you sign up for the Patreon? Thank you.
That'd be a great way to celebrate Lacey, who deserves all your celebration.
Yay.
She deserves some of your celebration.
Shit, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So we have an episode about Total Recall. Me and Neophyte Reviews talking about that movie. Good juxtaposition with The Rock, because that was Arnold Schwarzenegger in his capacity as producer of Total Recall, hiring Paul Verhoeven to direct the movie, something that The Rock has never done. I think it's the single biggest difference between those two men is that
Trust.
Arnold, at the height of his power, said, I will give myself over to an Osho
Right.
director
Right.
to be my boss. And The Rock has only worked with directors for whom he is the boss,
Right.
of whom he is the boss.
Yeah.
But it seems like that might be changing because the next movie he's working with, the next movie he's doing is a Safdie brothers movie, the people who made Uncut Gems. And seems like, but the point is, this is The Rock late in his career, being like, things are going wrong for me. Now I need to try some weird stuff.
He heard our song.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, Summer of Rock continues all summer. We are on YouTube at Load Bearing Beams Pod. I'm on Letterboxd at Matt Stokes 9. Lacey's on Letterboxd at Load Bearing Lacey. My band is Roar Out 9. We do the music for the show, including the song you're hearing right now, including the Summer of Rock theme song. And you can find us wherever you find your music.
Okay, I smell what you're cooking. I love you. Goodbye.
3, 4. Everybody, love bearing beams.